Hey guys, we're back and we're doing a gold veining or raw gold kind of in the cracks of your gem. And the two that I have done it on are the gold with turquoise, this one. And when I did this one, I was immediately asked about a video for these gold like nugget things by Claire Edie, I think. And then the one that I just did the other day, which was the White Mountain Variscite, and it's got the little tiny gold veins in it. So that's what we're going to go over, and I'm just showing you like what I do with them. And depending on what you're doing, one of the things you'll be surprised about the colors is that there's no actual yellow. Like none. I know everybody kind of thinks in their mind like yellow gold, and so then you have golds and yellows. Anyway, there's no actual yellow. This is my lightest. It is cream. It is very, very, very light yellow-ish, but it's much more of a almost like a yellowy beige in my eyes. I'm not sure. Maybe I just am weird, but that's cool. So that's my lightest color. My second, which is the most yellowish, is actually called Dark Naples Ochre. Ochre is kind of a yellow. It's much more of a gold look, though, to it. Which is just to say it's a much warmer, less punch you in the face yellow. So that would be, it's very earthy. That's a good word for it, a good descriptive word. Very earthy for yellow. The other ones I have are burnt ochre, which is kind of like what you'd think of as a nice tan on a person. So that is one that I definitely would pick up. It's a very earthy color as well. It's kind of like the color of me on paper or something. And then this one is burnt sienna, not Sierra. We're not burning people. Burnt sienna, and it's just brown. It's a lighter brown though. So, depending on your type of stone and what you have around your gold veining, you can go with something around your gold as light as burnt sienna or as dark as this one, which is walnut brown, or as dark as black, just depending on what you've got around it. On this one, I've got black around it, all the way around the very edges of it. And then I've got some of the browns inside of it here. On the other one, I've got the browns around it, browns going inside it. I have little bits of black, I think, right in there. It could be brown, it could be black. I'm really not sure anymore. And so I've got those running in there as well. So, generally I have a idea of what I want the gold to look like, or where I at least want to place it. When I'm placing these little bits of gold for veining, I'm thinking about where I want the lines on it to all be. In this one, I kind of want a bigger gold piece to be probably right in here. And so I'm going to outline it and just color it in. I don't know how well you can see that. I hope you can see it pretty good. I want a vein to come up this way. And then probably there will be one, just a vein of it coming down this way. And we'll block in a little bit more of a piece of gold over here, going through the veins of this, whatever it is, stone. I haven't figured out what stone it is yet. I think I want it to be red. That's about all I know. Alright, so that's just the little gold pieces, and I don't think you can see that too great. Don't worry about it, because we will help beef it up in just a second. In order to help you see it, we're going to run ahead and do some of the outlining, where you just go around the shapes that you have. With outlining, you can, because you're working on basically the veins of the stone at this point. So you can run across, you can connect these, just depending on what you're wanting as far as in your stone. But I just want to do this to help you guys see it better and where I'm working. And then I've got this one down here. And like you said, you don't have to be super specific with it. I'm just trying to get the color to surround my little creamy flecks down here. Okay, we can continue the veining later. Okay, now, one of the things about the gold veining is that light's going to pick it up and hit it in different directions because it's gold and it's like raw, and it has lots of different areas and bumpiness to catch gold, to catch light and reflect it back out. So I kind of go in with my gold ochre. This is, no, dark Naples ochre, excuse me. My goldish color, and kind of make little bits of deeper variations, just coloring in little bits, not like circles, not squares, not like an actual, just little squiggles basically, of where you're making shadows, more shadows in your gold. Little nugget vein things. That's all this is. And it's not specific. I just kind of fudge it, I guess. And because you're trying to get the idea of it. And if you can get the idea of it, or if you can get your mind to click for it, then that's what you're really looking for. It doesn't actually have to be picture perfect. It doesn't have to be, you know, zoom in and it looks exactly like gold, okay? Alright, burnt ochre, which is our tan color, is again just building more shadow, into it where there's, because anytime there's light, there's going to be shadows. And so you're just building in a little bit of shadow where you've got this gold reflecting. And I'm just touching it here and there and there, and making some of the shadows deeper. And it's not like it's science or something super hard like brain surgery. But like I said, you're just getting the different colors in there to simulate gold. Hills and valleys in your little gold veining. In my bigger one, because of the light coming down, there are I went in with my gel pen later on and did some little blobs so that I could get it really, really bright. On this other one, I didn't do that at all. So it just kind of depends on what you want your gold to look like, or if you have a stone that you're actually looking at, what that looks like. If it has those brighter points, definitely go in and put them in when you're done with your gel pen. If you don't, then don't. Like I said, it's just how you want your gold to look. Okay? And then I'm going to go ahead in with my super dark brown, the walnut brown. And I want to bring in just some little strings, some little darker valleys in here. And then I'm going to begin really making these veins come out and connect together and turn this into a big old stone. So that is gold veining in a nutshell. And once you're there, the only thing you need to worry about is when you're doing the shadows on your stone. My light is going to be coming from probably this angle. It's what is kind of in my head right now. And so if it's going to hit right here, I'm going to have that highlight coming right across it. And so I'll be shadowing all of this in, which is why I didn't put any real gold highlights down here. Because in a shadow, you're not going to see it. So even if you did put a gold highlight down in here, it's going to get covered a little bit by your shadow. So that's why I didn't really put it in there. It definitely will bring some of the veins down in here though, because I want veins all over my gem, my stone, actually. And I haven't really done this yet with gems because you need a really smooth transition with gems. Well, I mean, you do with stones too, but you're going to have to color around them because there's no way you can do this on top of something that already exists unless you have a way to, you know, like paint over it and then come back in with pencils, and I haven't found a way to do that yet. So you do have to be careful when you do your actual stone and go around it. Well, let's do some of the stone now. So let's go ahead and finish up this veining. Okay, that's our veining done. So now we're just going to go in and I'm going to start building in the colors and the depth for the actual stone. So seeing as how I've been thinking about it, and I do want a very like potent red stone, I'm thinking that probably the lightest I may go is going to be like a pale, this says pale geranium lake, but it's a very bright red. I don't know if I want to stay this bright with it up here, but we'll go for it and see how dark we want to go with it. Okay, so we've got this pretty much colored in. This is where my shadow is going to be. I don't want the same base coat on the shadow, which is why I kind of stopped right there. The next one I'm going to go down to is probably the permanent carmine in my Fabric Estelles. And we're just getting darker into our reds here. This is, as you can see, a darker red. I'm just going to basically be going around and showing where the middle tone-ish type colors will be. Definitely going around all my edges. I've got my light hitting here where I want it to be. Then I want my middle tone to be right around here. And just kind of map it out and think about it in my head. I really hope you guys like these videos and tutorials that I do with you. I really do enjoy it. This setting or whatever that I doodled up, I've just found that I really like doing this, and I'm starting to put them into necklaces now, as well as like shrink them down, make them necklaces now, as well as putting them in my coloring books. This specific one is not in the new book because I just doodled it like before I started the video. So, but the new book is about to be out, Gemstones Volume 4. I'm very excited about that. And just a little so you know, there is a written faceted tutorial in it. It is the one from before. So from book number 2, if you have book number 2, I did put it in there, as well as the written one for the basic gem, just to give you people, ones who aren't in a group or something like that, a little bit of help in coloring gems. I've also listed, of course, all my YouTube stuff and where they can find me. And hopefully that will all help them to color gems. And it should be out this coming Monday. It should be cleared through CreateSpace and everything. So, very excited about that. Alright, so that's like my mid-tone. And I'm going to come back in and blend a bunch of this when I go do some of the second colors in there. We're going to go all the way down to dark red, I think. Yeah. And then maybe into even some purples to get some real darks in there. Actually, we're going to do is go with, I think mauve, which is actually a purple. But when you put it on top of red, it makes a beautiful, very deep, vibrant shadow. Layering colors to make shadows is always one of my favorite ways to do them. Even if I'm going to use a gray to blanket out on top, or even black, using colors makes them much more vibrant as shadows, and I really do like that. Comes back from doing color theory and stuff in painting and art classes in college. So if you know about that stuff, it's awesome. If you want me to do some videos and stuff like that about color theory and creating your own color wheels or stuff like that, I'm up for it. I just didn't know if there is an interest or not in it, so you should let me know. Also, if you have stones that you would want to see, I always want to know about them. It's not always guaranteed that they'll happen because I just might not have time, but I do always want to know. So if you have ideas or anything, my mom and I were talking last night. She actually told me she wanted to see Amazonite, which I looked it up. It's just basically a greenish stone. Kind of look like jade, but less glowy. But, and it has like white bits in it, I think. So, anyway, that's what she said she wanted to see, even though she doesn't actually watch my videos, so. Alright, let's go get some more reds. Alright, what I've done here is I've just gone in with dark red and just gone over all of my purple for my shadows. Gives that a really dramatic shadow, which I really like. The only thing I see that I want to fix is that my veining is getting a little bit lost in here. So I'm thinking that going over it with black instead of using the brown would be a little bit better, just so that it still gives it that punch. You can still see it real well. So I'm going to go over some of my veining with my black, especially the little veins that are going down here. Ooh, I need this sharpened. Get it nice and sharp for veins so that you get that crisper, clearer line. Then just run in here. Kind of trace over some of your veins. Cracks, I guess. Rock cracks versus gem cracks. A little bit different. these appear as though they're running all over the top of the gem, or the stone. Yeah, the stone, not a gem. And the gem type cracks kind of look like they are under it, like on the bottom of it. And I really like that, so. Alright, let's see if we can go ahead and do a little bit of blending and show up with the highlight and to finish off the stone. Alright, we're all blended in and got a couple more coats of the reds on there just to bring in some more vibrancy and make sure that I've got my colors where I want them. And then all we have left to do is put on our highlight and then do our setting. So our highlight, as always, wherever it hits, it's going to follow the general shape of our stone or our gem, depending on what you're working on. Mine's going right across here, right across my gold. And I'm gonna have other ones coming around. I don't like how that looks. So I want to take out this little bit. And I'll have to probably fix it again before I'm done. Yeah, I think this one needs to be a little bit bigger. I'll probably have to taper that off a little bit with my blender pencil. But that's what we have. So, hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you next time, and I want to see your gold veined stems.